May I come in, ma'am?
Yeah.
Please come. Please come.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir.
Please be seated.
Please be seated.
Sachin,
Thank you.
how are you today?
I'm good, ma'am.
You're good?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little about yourself.
Well, my name is Sachin Rahad. I come from predominantly rural part of the country, Jhunjhunu, Rajasthan. I have done my schooling from Bidla Public School, Pilani, which is a boys' boarding school. Then I went to Metropolitan City of Delhi, completed my graduation from Hindu College. I have tried to utilize all the opportunities that were given to me by my school and college, such as extracurricular activity, hosting a national debate, and also winning a national gold medal in Taekwondo for Rajasthan.
Oh, excellent.
And my hobbies are, as such, playing sports and also reading non-fiction books, especially on self-improvement.
Okay. The last book you read, tell us about that.
Yes, ma'am. The last book that I read was Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, which talks about that how ego, it is not the ego that is in a traditional sense, but the sense of accomplishments, how they stop you from achieving further things. So it talks about there are 3 stages of everyone's self-improvement. So one would be failure, other would be success, and the other is the intermediate stage.
What does he say about the failure? Because failure in the Indian setup, in the society, especially the middle class, doesn't reconcile with that. And what is his take on that?
Ma'am, his take is basically on ego, whereas a failure is a stage. So he's talking about if somebody has ego, then he won't be able to accept failures. And if he's not able to accept failures, then he won't be able to excel further. So even to accept failures, one need to curb his ego. And by ego, it is the sense of that knowing all.
Failure has a very humbling effect.
Yes.
You learn and then you move forward. So it's a stepping stone.
Yes.
That way.
Yes.
Good that you read such books. Now, let's talk about renewable energy. Rajasthan is doing wonders.
Yes.
What has been achieved so far and how we are going to optimize it?
Ma'am, in terms of installed capacity and the last statistics that I read, it is beyond 50% also in renewable energy in Rajasthan. And then Bhadra solar plant, one of the largest solar plants in the country, is there in Rajasthan. Again, in terms of wind energy also, Rajasthan is moving miles ahead of other parts of the country in terms of solar energy. And it has also launched a new solar policy and renewable energy policy as well, which...
I was reading about Bikaner. What is happening in and around that place related to renewable energy? Recently, the Prime Minister was there or something like that.
Ma'am, Bikaner, as far as I can recall, it is a very deserted area. So it is.
What is happening in the renewable energies? Something new has come up there, or it has been decided to check up that.
Yes, ma'am.
No problems. Now, if we talk about the interim budget, the Prime Minister's program of Suryodaya, how much it is going to impact Rajasthan?
Ma'am, Rajasthan government also claimed that it is one of the best things that happened for Rajasthan because it is going to provide free electricity, 300 units to households. And recently, Prime Minister, the government also launched this scheme. So it is going to impact in a way that Rajasthan has a lot of solar potential in the state. So 2 gigawatt per meter square, close to that, it has one of the highest solar potential. So households and residential regions could leverage that, and they can install solar power plants, tiles.
How much is the subsidy government is going to give in this domain?
Ma'am, it is going to give 60% subsidy in terms of installation and 40% for the components. And rest in both is going to be provided by loans and very zero minute interest.
Right. Thank you. My colleagues will interact with you.
So, Sachin,
Yes, sir.
you are from Jhunjhunu.
Yes, sir.
What is special about Jhunjhunu?
Sir, Jhunjhunu, I would say the diversity in the district is very special. It is kind of a microcosm of the country itself, in the way that in geographical terms, eastern part of Jhunjhunu is having a lot of water, but the western part of Jhunjhunu is completely semi-arid, where there is no irrigated land also. And in terms of culture as well, Jhunjhunu spans from the city itself has most of the cultural practices that happen in the country, such as 50% population of major religions in the state.
What is the product identified under one district, one product?
Sir, in Junjunu, as of now, it is not, but there are, uh, I mean, there are people are asking for pedas, Chirava peda, under that. Yes, sir.
For one district, one, no, there must be, it is identified all the districts.
Sir, it is Chirava peda, which is there, sir.
It has an export potential,
Yes,
some
sir.
business potential.
Sir, as far as it is concerned, sir, it has both the potentials because it is actually world famous in the country.
Because they have identified the items based on the business potential. So I think you need to check. So you were best speaker at Model UN,
Yes,
the Israel-Palestine conflict.
yes.
So what is your opinion on this?
Sir, I would share my opinion what Mr. S. Jaishankar, our foreign minister, recently in Munich Security Conference said, that the two-state solution is the only solution moving forward in this. And second would be, sir, humanitarian cause should be taken up and there should be a humanitarian corridor for all the refugees to move out of that location. And third would be, sir, that the global community should take steps forward because when the international...
Where will the refugees go? Nobody is taking them.
Sir, as per the recent reports, President Biden has said that the war could end by the end of this week. And there is also a proposal of 40 days break because of Ramadan in this situation.
But how it will end? It will end only when the parties decide. Have Israel and the thing they have agreed, Palestine and the Gaza Strip people, have they agreed?
Sir,
There are three parties now.
yes, sir. Sir, recently talks in Paris are going on to this, where the Israeli war cabinet has agreed for the ceasefire. And now the ball is in the Hamas's region.
Ceasefire is not the solution, but you have to look for permanent. In your view, what can be the permanent solution?
Sir, only two-state solution can only be the permanent solution.
Two-state.
Yes, sir.
So in between you have Israel, and where do Gaza Strip goes to which country?
Sir, Gaza Strip will be for Palestinian.
That is Palestine.
Yes, sir.
Israel has agreed. Okay, you are a self-defense instructor.
Yes.
What is this? What do you do?
Sir, since
What do you teach? Is it karate, judo, or whatever?
Sir, since I won gold medal in Taekwondo, I try to utilize that forward, the skills that I gained in that.
Okay. How Taekwondo is better than karate or kung fu for that matter?
Sir, I would say that they all are different, so I would not categorize one to be better than the other. But Taekwondo, the major portion of lower torso is used, the legs are used. And in Kung Fu, most of the entire body is used, but upper body also has.
So for self-defense, you are not talking of attacking. Which is better? I want to defend myself, save myself, not make harm.
Sir, in terms of self-defense also, it would depend upon the subject, individual to individual. So for example, for me, Taekwondo could be better because I have longer legs, which could reach farther. At the same time, my upper body strength is not as in comparison to my legs. For example, it also depends on the vulnerability to vulnerability.
Okay, thank you. Please.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have done physics honors.
Yes, sir.
And you have opted for geography.
Yes, sir.
So why you have not opted for, because you have been in Hindu college, premier institution. So why you have not opted for that?
Sir, it was rather a very pragmatic decision on my part. And I have done masters in geography as well after my bachelor's. In between, I had started preparing for UPSC examination and I saw that there was a huge overlap in the syllabus of geography and the GS subjects. So I chose geography from my interest also and from a very realistic and pragmatic point of view.
Okay. So as a person who is equipped with physics knowledge, how do you find the suitability in terms of the administrative job that is being offered to you?
Sir, I feel that having expertise in scientific subjects gives an edge in terms of analytical abilities and understanding as well. At the same time, in terms of statistics. So those are the things that I can leverage. At the same time, as the newer schemes are coming up for renewable energies, which is also overlap between physics and geography at the same time. So in those terms, for me to have a better knowledge of those things.
Practical example, you give something that will give you leverage.
Sir, in terms of if one has to implement renewable energy policy, then it requires the terrain of the place, it requires the latitude of the location. So those policy making, it is very helpful.
Okay. Implementation also.
Yes, sir. In the same vein, the implementation of the policies.
Okay. Just tell me one thing that the Himalayan plate, the Indo-Australian plate, and the problems related to it. That what is the problem that is happening, because this plate theory, plate tectonics theory is there. What is the problem that is the India is facing in that related to that?
Sir, problem as far as I can recall, it could be related to earthquakes because seismic zones, Delhi itself is in seismic zone 4 because of its proximity to Himalayan plate, because the plates are still in motion. So the Indo-Pacific, Indo-Australian plate and Eurasian plates are still in motion and the collision is still going on. So earthquake vulnerability rises in that sense.
Okay. So, do you think that the special status that is being given to the mountainous states is beneficial?
Sir, I feel certainly it is beneficial in the sense that mountainous regions has different geography as well, which gives them a lot of extra responsibility than normal states. And at the same time, the vulnerability also rises in the mountainous regions, such as landslides and earthquakes at the same time. And then in most of the mountainous states in India, the the indigenous population is very high, maybe tribals also, and the people. So, and at the same time, underdevelopment is also very high. So to develop those areas and to develop those areas in such a manner that is sustainable for the environment.
So, this desert area, the desertification that is happening in the Thar region, that has become much more greener now. So, what kind of problem do you see if it is changing in nature?
Sir, as per the statistics, 1 centimeter per year, the Thar Desert is moving in the western direction, and now they have implemented Aravalli's wall, green wall zone, which is causing the afforestation. Many experts claim that it could lead to the loss of biodiversity, the indigenous biodiversity of the population, such as Great Indian bustards also, which are critically endangered. At the same time, it could also lead to pests attacks and low-cost attacks, rise in those attacks, the frequency of those attacks. And at the same time, the indigenous population of crops could also face problems from the foreign species.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sachin.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
I, with liberty, I would like to go back to this Israel-Hamas issue.
Yes.
You have no problem with that, right?
No, sir. Yes.
Right. So, do you think peace between Israel and Hamas is tenable over a longer period of time?
Sir, I feel that peace is the only solution, sir. We can't do justice.
That is too general what you say. That's theoretical. Peace should be there everywhere. But let's say in specific context, what are Israel's objectives? Netanyahu, what does he want? Stated objective, they said it clearly.
Yes, sir. The stated objective would be, sir, complete wipe out of Hamas.
Is it possible?
Sir, I think it is possible, sir.
It is possible.
Yes, sir.
Why is it possible? It's the entire population identifies with Hamas.
Sir, the extremist elements could be wiped out, sir. That is possible. But not by the manners that the war is going on at the present moment. The civilian attacks are no way justified in any kind of stated objectives.
Right. So we come to the definition of terrorism itself.
You know that India just floated a comprehensive convention on international terrorism. So what is the problem with that draft convention?
Sir, in this situation, particular situation?
No, in general, why that convention? 96, I think we floated it. Even today, it's not been agreed upon, right? There's a problem of definition, right? Terrorism.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would not be able to answer that.
Yeah. So what Israel is doing is that terrorism. Some would regard that, right? Targeting population in order to eliminate so-called terrorist group, that is state terrorism. Pakistan often uses that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that's what about the US? What is the problem for the US? You know today's news. You must have read it. They airdrop supplies. Did you read that?
Sir, I'm not sure of that.
They airdropped relief material to the Palestinian refugees.
Sir, in terms of US, I would say, sir, it is the elections are approaching very fast.
Yeah.
So both the sides are acting in, like President Joe Biden is acting so that the war could end as quickly as possible so that he could gain some leverage at the domestic turf. So in that vein, he's trying to achieve any kind of goal in the war, maybe a ceasefire or maybe the end of the war. So that is why he's trying to leverage his position in a way that could give him advantage at the domestic turf.
Or at least he would not lose the Arab voters, Arab Americans, right?
Yes.
They are upset with him
Yes.
for not promoting ceasefire. Now, what about mediation? I mean, from Indian angle, we have good relations with Israel, good relations with Palestinians. So why aren't we active in promoting peace between them?
Sir, at the present moment, mediation is being handled by Qatar because it is hosting a lot of Hamas-related leadership. So it is leading the mediations.
No, that's factual, right?
Yes.
Why aren't we active ourselves? Even Russia, Ukraine, let's add it to that. Why can't we mediate? In fact, some of the visitors to India for Raisina dialogue, they did say that India is in a good position to talk to all sides.
Sir, yes, sir. I feel that India should certainly mediate, sir.
What is the danger of mediation?
Sir, the danger of mediation would be that if the outcome is negative, then it could be a problematic. Or India could also, the impact could also be the relations between the countries that India is mediating between.
Or
With-
other countries would want to mediate in matters relating to India, Pakistan? You don't think so?
Yes, sir.
If we want to mediate elsewhere, then why should we object to mediation, which Pakistan wants, incidentally, right?
Yes, sir. But India will mediate if the countries are willing to
That's okay. I
mediate
mean,
it by.
others will also mediate if India, but this through friendly persuasion it can be achieved, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And mediation is never neutral.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Okay. One more theme I'll take up. There's this recently Prime Minister. He gave wings to the Indian potential astronauts, right, or Gaganauts, as they say. Can you tell me something about this? Entire human mission into space, Indian human mission, let's say.
Sir, it is sending 3 Gaganauts to the low Earth orbit,
Right.
which is Gaganyaan mission, and it is to test the India's potential of reaching to the outer limits, in the sense that India could become the 4th country to do so.
Right.
Yes, sir. And it will also, like recently, India C-20 engine was tested by India,
Right.
and it would provide India leverage in terms of the global space market, which is there, close to $30 billion at the present moment, which is going to rise in future also.
No, this cosmonaut, this Gaganaut, where were they trained?
So they were trained in Russia, sir.
So it is an Indian mission, right?
Yes, sir.
So why Russia then? Even the spacesuits are probably from Russia, right?
Yes, sir.
So why we are saying this is an Indian mission?
Sir, we do not, we are building the capacity, sir, for that.
Right. So we haven't built it. So this is not an Indian mission, right?
Sir, it is an Indian mission because all the, more than 75% of the technology that is used there is indigenously built.
Right. So what does this tell you about India's foreign policy then? That we are working with NASA, we're working with the Russians, and the Europeans. What does it tell you about Indian foreign policy?
Sir, it tells that India is taking a very pragmatic and sovereign steps forward. So that India is choosing case by cases whatever it advantageous to India.
Right, and also in terms of not reinventing the wheel. So in order to use our resources optimally, no need to invent everything when others have done it and we are friends with all, right?
Yes.
That's the basic. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, sir.